Hey, this is Jacob Beck with Beck's Farm Equipment. Today I was gonna walk around the 604R Premium Baler. This baler is Vermeer's high-end 4-foot wide baler. Makes a 4x6 bale. There's a lot of things this baler has that I want to show you. Now, on this baler, it brings a lot of things to the table. The first thing is gonna be it's heavy duty. Now come over here and look at these chains and look at this output shaft. This output shaft is about as thick as they come. We're running 100 chains on your top pull and your bottom pull. Another thing this baler has is the amount of simplicity of the pickup, which is something as compared to some of the older models, they did have a lot of moving parts. This has a camless pickup, which reduces our actual moving parts down to only 2 main wear parts on there. And those 2 main wear parts are gonna be on either side of this pickup. There'll be 2 bearings on either side here. And that'll be for the actual pickup. All the teeth are mounted on a big reel. They're big, heavy, rubber mounted teeth. They all go on that reel. These bands here are poly bands now. They don't take as much wear as the metal bands did. If you had something that come up in here and bend it, it's not going to tear anything up. These poly bands, they can't really bend. They're easy to replace. Another thing that this baler has is called the Baffle Roller. And what this Baffle Roller does is it creates a pinch point between the actual pickup and the Baffle Roller, and it throws the hay inside the chamber for a lot more universal distribution of the hay coming into the rotor. And as you can see, you have a lot bigger augers on either side of the rotor, and you have an overshot rotor. Just like a lot of the other competitors out there, these rotors are known for making a very uniform and good looking bale. The amount of the changes between this and the end is pretty significant. This baler, it loves eating hay. It does an awesome job of eating hay. You come around the side here, we're gonna have big flotation tires as per usual. This is something I recommend having on every baler you get. You don't know it's back there. It don't take as much wear and tear going through the field. You do also have a hydraulic pickup as well. You'll have tailgate locks here just off the side. Then probably the biggest change on this baler is going to be our netwrap system. Our netwrap system is revolutionary on this, and I'd love to just show it to you real quick. So we had gone to a self-contained hydraulic netwrap system, and what this does, there's an eye right here. That eye is going to read the distance between the actual netwrap and the eye, and it's going to apply more brake as you use more netwrap as to compensate for the lost weight over time of use. This is also going to go ahead and make a more consistent tight bale and sucking that netwrap around there, creating a better seal for storing your netwrap out, your hay bales outside, making them a lot more watertight. And then one of my favorite features on this, if you come back here, you hit the net load button. It's right here now. And that puts it automatically in the position to go ahead and load your net. Whereas earlier, you'd have to go hit it in the cab, run all the way to the back, then put your netwrap in. You bring your netwrap back here already, just plug it in, hit that button, good to go. Another nice feature on here is going to be our netwrap crane. Now, this netwrap ain't getting any lighter. It's actually getting heavier. The more and more of it you're going, you know, 9840 or 13,000 foot. There's a lot of weight to those kind of rolls. Now this thing, if you have any kind of hard time using, you know, to lift the netwrap in there, you just use this button. This crane comes out here to the side, just like so. You lower it down. loop your straps around it, and then just lift up. If you have it balanced right, that's one thing. Lift it up, and that'll help bring it back in here so that you can load your net wrap easy. Loading the net wrap on there is as easy as pulling a pin. Pull this pin here, open up this side. You'll line this up, push the pin over, and then you're done. It's very simple. Now, on the back, we also still have one of my favorite options, which is the hydraulic ramp for the tailgate. This ramp comes down first, then your tailgate will open. Now, once you go to shut your tailgate, the ramp comes up, pushes the bale away from you and holds it back there, and then the tailgate comes down. That keeps the bale from ever coming back into you, tearing up the tailgate, rolling back into the baler, whatever. You're not ripping bales, and you're not launching them off into the pond. You get a lot of those issues with big kickers. It's a lot more gentle, a lot more easier on your bale, and easier on your baler. We also have, of course, your shape sensors on the back side. That makes sure that whenever you're driving, you can make the adjustments you need to make. Up here on this side, we have our auto lube setup. This is going to be a standard feature on this baler. It will lube every point on this baler. You got a grease line going somewhere. Another standard feature on here is going to be the moisture sensor. And the moisture sensor is going to go ahead and tell you an accurate count from, I think it's 6% all the way up to 28% moisture. Above 28, it's going to say wet. Below 6, it's going to say dry. Now, on our monitor, this is our monitor here. Here is going to be our net wrap fuel gauge. You can see this little bar here. Whenever it's full, that turns green. As it gets lower and lower and lower, it turns red, and eventually will say net gone or net out. And that's a nice indicator that's going to tell you exactly where you're at. Now on this, it's going to have a lot of different information here where it's going to tell you, how many seconds or minutes it takes to make a bale, what your battery is at, field bales, where your moisture is at. You can select this and go through a few different options here. Total bales, density. Your density is adjusted from the actual monitor now. So say we want to come in here. On our actual density, we can increase or decrease that density as well. Our bale shape is going to be displayed right here. Our full bale size will be right here. If we want to change our full bale size, we can come in here on this chart, increase it to 72. I like keeping mine a little bit lower so I can coast through my last bale. Generally, that's going to make a little bit cleaner looking bale. Bale density, this is where we're going to do all our big changes here, 55% all the way up to 100% bale density. 100%, you're going to be experiencing a little more wear. Usually, try to keep it in that 50, 75 range, you'd be just fine. Net wraps, this is going to be where you're going to change your wraps, plus or minus. And then net tension, you can adjust this and fine tune it here at the back, depending on what net wrap you're using. If you're using Vermeer net wrap, that stuff's not pre-stretched. It comes on real thick, and you can apply more tension here at the back side, and then that is going to really stretch that down onto that bale. And that's where you get a lot of those tighter bales where that net wrap is allowing a lot less penetration of water, and you're not getting as much UV damage because that net wrap's going to be covered a lot more tighter. Coming into this next section, these are going to be where you make and create your different fields. This can store all your field information. So say if I want to come in here and create a field, I just type in exactly what I want to call the field, and then you hit OK and save it. That'll store all the main information for that field itself. But all that can be logged, and you can export it to a USB on Excel, however you want to do that. There is manual start on here. If for some reason you get like a 38-inch or 40-inch bale and you're not to the full bale size, you can hit the start button. Or if you have it set to where you're baling at 69 inches or 68, whatever you're making, 60-inch, and there's a little bit left, and it's saying you're at the full bale size, you can hit the pause button, build up a little bit left, and then hit your start again. It goes right to doing. Now, one big feature this baler has that the 604R Signature Classic and a lot of the others won't have is this baler will automate your tailgate whenever you have a tractor that is ISO compatible and will have a constant flow on the hydraulics where you can plug it in. What this will do, once it tells you that this bale is full, it's going to automate the system. It's going to tell that right after the wrap is done, eject your tailgate. Tailgate ejects. There's a sensor back off there. Once that hits that trip sensor, it knows it's clear, and then it shuts the tailgate, and you go right ahead baling. This is ISO compatible with the tractor monitor as well, so if you want to go that way, completely up to you, but it is ready to go if you do that. This baler is, like I said, top of the line, heavy duty baler. You can't go wrong with Vermeer. You can't go wrong with quality. Thank you guys for tuning in.